The Backrooms Files is a fictional archive documenting no-clipping events, missing persons, classified investigations, and recovered evidence connected to the backrooms. The series covers entry zones, backrooms levels, entities, survivor accounts, expeditions, recovered artifacts, and the formation of async as it investigates, explores, and attempts to understand the endless labyrinth beyond reality. Case file number 5, Donald Hayes, 1962. Donald Hayes, a 38-year-old structural surveyor, disappeared in 1962 while inspecting an unfinished commercial development on the outskirts of Dayton, Ohio. The site was planned as a multi-level shopping complex but had been abandoned mid-construction. At the time of inspection, only partial infrastructure existed: exposed concrete pillars, incomplete stairwells, skeletal steel framing for escalators, and temporary construction lighting. Hayes arrived alone at approximately 8:20 a.m. to conduct a structural integrity survey of the second and third planned floors. He carried standard equipment: measuring wheel, plumb line, flashlight, field notebook, and contractor-issued blueprints. The first floor matched expectations with minor deviations consistent with unfinished construction. The anomaly began at the stairwell leading upward. Although intact, stair measurements showed inconsistencies. Vertical spacing between landings exceeded blueprint specifications by several feet. Assuming construction error, Hayes continued upward. Upon reaching what should have been the second floor, the layout no longer matched any revision. Corridor lengths were too long, pillar placement was inconsistent, and structural spacing no longer aligned with recorded plans. Temporary construction lighting also changed. Harsh work lights were replaced by evenly diffused fluorescent ceiling fixtures despite no record of installation. At 8:47 a.m., Hayes radioed that the second floor does not match the building footprint, noting repeating corridor segments and incorrect geometry. The signal degraded into static with a low, steady hum. When he attempted to descend, the stairwell no longer behaved normally. Steps extended farther than expected, and the previous landing was no longer visible. The structure appeared to repeat vertically, as if each floor replicated the one above it without transition. Hayes marked concrete pillars with survey chalk. After moving further, he encountered identical markings ahead, matching his own handwriting, spacing, and sequence exactly. At approximately 9:12 a.m., he entered what his recovered notes called a completed section of unfinished building. This area was not in any blueprint revision. The environment resembled a finished mall corridor. Carpet replaced concrete, ceiling panels replaced exposed wiring, and storefront frames appeared with blank signage. No workers were present. The corridor extended beyond visual range in both directions, with repeating storefront structures lacking interiors. The geometry no longer matched the original building footprint. Hayes attempted to exit through a service door. It opened into another identical corridor. Every exit attempt produced the same result: continued interior replication without exterior transition. Fluorescent lighting emitted a constant unified hum. Brightness was identical everywhere, and shadows behaved inconsistently, sometimes vanishing beneath beams. Hayes described distance without movement, where walking produced no measurable change in position. The environment seemed to extend instead of being traversed. At 9:38 a.m., partial radio resumed. The building is repeating itself. It is not unfinished. It is already finished somewhere else. He then reported escalators leading into identical corridors rather than new floors, each level increasingly detached from original design. At 10:05 a.m., his final transmission recorded under heavy interference. There is no exterior, only more interior. Pause. The blueprint stops making sense. It keeps continuing anyway. Signal degraded into static and a mechanical hum. A search team later confirmed the ground floor matched plans. Upper levels did not correspond to any documented design. Stairwells ended in incomplete frameworks. No additional floors were confirmed. Donald Hayes was never found. Survey chalk matching his handwriting was discovered in inaccessible areas, forming continuous paths into non-documented sections. The incident was classified as a non-linear interior expansion event, where incomplete structures generate fully realized but impossible environments beyond mapped boundaries. This case reinforced a repeating pattern: construction zones acting as unstable thresholds into recursive interior spaces later associated with backrooms-level spatial displacement phenomena